Welcome, Thunderbirds, back to this week's ThunderPod.
Welcome. We're excited to be back talking to the Highline campus and community.
We've got a few exciting updates for our listeners. If you haven't noticed, we've got two new hosts. Joining us as new producer and regular host of the show is myself, Evelyn Rissel. I'll be here with you each episode to discuss campus events and everything news.
Yeah, and then my name is Marlene. I'm ecstatic to be joining you for today's episode and producing segments for the week.
Thanks so much, Marlene. This is kind of going to be our new flow going forward that each podcast will generally have. You'll be hearing from a broad range of voices, and going forward, we're looking to just showcase all and every talent that is among Highline's beautiful community.
That's very exciting to hear. Now let's focus on what we've been talking about today. Our featured topic is going to be showcasing Highline's Math Center, also known as Marine Science and Technology Center. We're going to be sitting down with Malik Johnson. He is the Math's new Aquarius, and while some staff might be familiar with his background, today we're getting to know him.
Yeah, exactly. And then after that, we're going to be giving you a look into this week's Thunderword. If you're interested in how the first weeks of this quarter have gone, you'll want to hear this. And that's not all. We'll also be giving you a sneak peek into some of the exciting events that the campus has planned this quarter, so you won't want to miss it. But first, let's get to know each other a little bit.
Yes.
Marlene, let's start with you. Tell us, how long have you been at Highline, and what brought you to journalism and to the greater newsroom?
Yeah, so I have been at Highline for 1 full year. This will be my second year. I'm actively completing my AADTA transfer degree in journalism. And then journalism is something that I've always been drawn to as a kid. I've always loved watching the news with my family. I've always loved reading the news. I was that one weird kid in school who would just, be on my phone, and the first thing I would do is just ABC News.
Wow.
News, yeah.
ABC, yeah.
But, it's always been something that I've just enjoyed doing ever since childhood. And so when I grew up, I was like, I think this is something I want to do in the future.
And do you prefer, or maybe it's equal writing, or maybe more mediums like this where you're reporting and on video?
I think I like on video.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a passion for writing, but I think this is something I would want to do.
Well, that's so exciting, Marlene, and we're really grateful to have you, and hopefully we get to see you on the podcast in future episodes.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your personal life, though. Do you have any interests, hobbies you'd like to let us know about?
I do. In my free time, I love to spend time with my family or friends. I prioritize spending time with them because sometimes life gets so busy, and then just to catch up on them. I'm a very family-oriented person, so I always love hanging out with my family and doing things with my family. On my free time, I have recently gone into working out, so I love going to the gym now. It really helps me not only physically but mentally. When I'm stressed or something, I just go to the gym and I come out feeling better.
Absolutely.
And then I also love to walk my dog, Olive, around the neighborhood. Yeah, that's something I love to do.
I love it. That sounds like a really well-balanced life.
Yeah. Now, Evelyn, you're in the hot seat. Tell us, how long have you been at Highline, and what drew you to journalism?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for asking. This is my second quarter at Highline, but I've been in community college before, so I don't have that many quarters left. I found the newsroom in my first quarter here, which was spring, and I always wanted to be a writer, and I'm really hoping to get to do that after I graduate in really any capacity, but I'd love to do this also. I'd love to work on podcasts, either host or produce or write, kind of just anything, in that area. And it's funny that you asked me how I found the newsroom. I feel like it's the other way around. I sought the newsroom out, and I was like, take me. So here we are with that.
And so you're taking over this quarter as the podcast producer. What are your hopes for this podcast?
Yeah, I'm so excited to be talking about this. What we're looking to do with this podcast going forward is, one, open it up. We want to hear from everyone on the Highline community. If you're not in the newsroom, if you have a featured story, you have a good story you'd like to be interviewed about, there is a space for you on this podcast. We're looking to just kind of broaden it up, and now we have this new medium of being able to film it. So if there's anything that you're interested in as a Highline student or staff, we're here. Come and stop by. We're in building 10 and room 205, and we'll make your story happen.
So now let's switch gears to our main topic. We'll start by introducing you all to Malik. Malik, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Malik Johnson. I'm the lead aquarist at the Math Center Aquarium here at the Highline College, which is really cool. I'm really new to my position. This is my fourth week here, and I'm coming from the Seattle Aquarium where I similarly worked with fish and invertebrates in local waters. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here working also with the fish and invertebrates here.
Wow.
That's exciting.
Tell us a little bit more about your time at the Seattle Aquarium. What was that like?
Yeah, so I was there for the last 3 years from 2022 to 25. And most recently, I was the marine science interpretive diver, which is an informal educator. It's someone who has the honor of getting to stand around the aquarium in front of habitats and engaging with the public. But also as a diver, I got to interact with guests from inside of the habitat as well, doing a variety of different husbandry tasks, feeding animals, cleaning the habitat, but also engaging through interpretive presentations and educational interactions. And then before that, I was on the life sciences team, also doing husbandry on the temperate fish and invertebrates team. So working once again more hands-on with fish, octopus, sea stars, jellies, anything that you can imagine or see in our local waters, which was super fun.
Super exciting. What was like your favorite part about working in the Seattle Aquarium?
Seattle Aquarium is it's very different. So before Seattle Aquarium, I worked at Point Defiance, which is down in Tacoma. So it's just about 2 hours away. I grew up and still live in Tacoma. So starting my career there, I had such a strong sense of community. Tacoma is a bit smaller than Seattle, and you get to see members every single week. The same families, the same kiddos, and that sense of belonging is really impactful and was so for myself and was really a key part of why I wanted to get into marine sciences and just wildlife ecology as it was. So moving up to Seattle, it was a stark contrast from that more community zoo and aquarium to a place that gets thousands of people from all walks of life, from different countries, from different communities in the US. So I think what was great about working at the Seattle Aquarium was that you really truly did not know what was going to be happening that day. Everything was kind of a surprise, and I like that.
Wow. And you mentioned husbandry a few times.
Yes,
I know, I've never heard this term.
So husbandry is something that I guess I might be wrong, but it comes from the medical field. I like to say that husbandry is anything that you would do as a nurse, as a parent, as the parent of a pet. So anything you do for a kid, your dog or cat at home, if you worked in a nursing home, that is all husbandry. It's kind of like bedside manner, if you've ever thought of that.
Wow. I've never heard that. Like, can you explain more about how that applies to marine life?
Yeah. So what is like, why, what does that mean? So husbandry is kind of the overarching field or like subsect as it is, I would say. Many people will go to school for wildlife biology, but not everybody will work in husbandry. Husbandry, like I said, is specifically caring for the animals at a zoo or aquarium. So siphoning their tank, it can be feeding or providing their food. And husbandry is not just something that you do for fish and invertebrates, but for terrestrial animals as well, or like I said, for your dog or cat at home. So it's not special, like a special word that applies to marine science, but the type of husbandry that we do in aquaria and in marine sciences is specific. How you're going to take care of a jellyfish or a sea jelly is going to be drastically different than how you would take care of an elephant. And so some people will say, man, I want to go off to school and I want to be a zookeeper. And what they want to do is they wanted to get into husbandry. And you can't always, this field is really small sometimes. There's this organization called the AZA, which is the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. And they are the organization that governs the big zoos and aquariums like Point Defiance and like Seattle or Monterey Bay Aquarium, smaller marine sciences centers like the Mass Center Aquarium, um, who may be connected to a college or might not necessarily have the funding, will still be a great facility that provides state of the art husbandry care, but it does not necessarily mean that they are accredited through the AZA.
What is like your specific field of study, like at the Mass?
Yeah, so I'm the lead aquarist, which is the person who make sure that all of the husbandry tasks get done. So there's a lot that goes into caring for fish. It's not just put water in a tank and put the fish in the water. There is water chemistry that we have to monitor and kind of be aware of. There are life support systems. So how is the water being pumped into the building? Is like all of this water is coming straight from our bay, and things grow in the ocean. If it's going to grow on rocks out in the wild, it's going to grow in my pipes and pumps at the aquarium. So if you've ever heard of something called biofouling, that is something that you might see like on the outside hull of a boat, all those barnacles and mussels that need to be maybe on a monthly interval scraped off and serviced. I have to do all of that stuff for my life support systems, for my pipes and for my pumps. I've got to monitor the water quality to make sure that my animals are okay. If they're not okay, I'm also the person who is doing disease detection and prevention. Um, I make sure that their nutrition is really well taken care of, making sure that we're providing them not just naturalistic food items, but things that are nutritionally significant. So things like, for us, you got to make sure that you're eating your fruits and your veggies and not just your chips and your salsa and your burritos and or burgers. We feed our animals high quality things that they still get their chips and burritos and burgers, but I still want to make sure that they're getting that whole range of needs. And that's in every aspect. It's not just cleaning and scrubbing, but much deeper into it. And it's ultimately my job, like in a simple way, we talked about community earlier and how representation is really important, whether it's people or animals. And you don't know who your neighbor is if you don't go and talk to your neighbor, and that is 100% true for our non-human community as well. So all of our fish and invertebrates in our local waters rely on us and the decisions that we make every single day. And so part of my job is to adequately reflect the communities that are out there, that are connected to us here on land, because not everybody's going to get the chance to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very important. While you were talking about the husbandry fish, I hope this is a okay question.
Yeah.
Fish need exercise?
Some fish do need exercise. Yeah. So it just depends on the type of fish. If you have a fish like a rockfish who's really sedentary, who might have 1 square mile or smaller of a home range throughout their entire life, you've got fish like salmon who are world travelers and travel thousands of miles in their life. So you want to provide them ample space and sufficient flow that are going to allow them that opportunity to work out and to swim against that flow, like they would out in the wild. Yeah.
That's interesting. And then you did talk a little bit about representation. How do you want to incorporate that into your...
Yeah, so it's like it's not just animals either. And I'm a person of color. I'm African American, but also a member of the Blackfeet tribe, which is from Montana, but I grew up on the Puyallup Tribal Reservation down near in Tacoma and Puyallup. So my communities are incredibly important to me, and making sure that not just the human or the animal communities are being taken into consideration, but the communities who have been historically and systemically underserved and undervalued and also underrepresented in the field that I'm in as well, which is marine science. And so I take every opportunity that I can to try to call people in and create a safe space and a welcoming space to bring people from all walks of lives and backgrounds into the mast or onto the beach to learn about what it is that we do and why these animals are important and why their experiences should be at the forefront and at the table when caring for these communities.
Absolutely. And we talked a little bit earlier about maybe some bigger goals that you have within this mission.
Yeah.
Is there anything coming up that you'd like to let the student body know about?
Say that I would like to try to make the mast more visible. We are not directly on campus, as you guys know, and I would like people to come and join us. We have volunteer shifts every Monday, Friday, and Sunday, and those are at variable times, and so we're always looking for more people to come and join us and to learn more about what it means to be a husbandry professional and or take care of fish and invertebrates. And it's not just, caring for the animals in the mast that we do, but Ariel, our public outreach coordinator, who that's probably not the correct title of hers, but she does a lot of really cool co-science. Co-science is another name for citizen science or community science, and it's just where civilians, students, everyday folks like ourselves get together and gather data for professional scientists who can use that to answer questions about conservation or sustainability. So specifically, we look at crab light trap data. So light attracts a variety of different planktonic organisms, and we put out little carboys and we get critters in there and we look at the diversity and abundance and composition of the animals that are floating around, which is hopefully little tiny baby crabs and not so many invasive things. We also work with sound toxins to look at kind of much smaller things, so phytoplankton, not just zooplankton animals that are floating around, but harmful algal blooms and the overall water quality health of our bay, Poverty Bay down there. So if anybody's ever interested in learning more about not just animals but environmental science, it's a great place to come and contribute to a bigger mission. And I'm hoping to be a part of maybe some tabling events coming up. I don't have my fingers super strongly on the pulse of life up here at campus, but I'm working on it and would definitely gonna be around a little bit more.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The ThunderPod is produced by Kara Stewart, Mackenzie Charles, and Evelyn Rissel. Today's episode was hosted by Marlene Cayetano and Evelyn. This week's episode was written by Marlene and Evelyn. A special thanks to Malik Johnson, Russ Higley, and the Mass Center. Our associate producer is Rachel Stewart, Mel Velasco, and Mackenzie. Thank you.